Welcome back, friends, to the lecture series on the play Oedipus the King. So far, we have discussed about the plot and themes in this drama. Now, we shall discuss about the important characters that we find in this drama. If you look at the dramatis personae in the beginning of this play, we find that there are about 10 to 12 characters, out of which some 5 to 6 characters are very important. The first most important character is, of course, the tragic hero of this drama, that is King Oedipus. Next important character is Jocasta, who is Oedipus's wife, queen of Thebes. Later, it is also revealed that she is Oedipus's mother as well. Then the other important character is Creon, brother to Jocasta. And then we have Tiresias, a blind prophet, old prophet. He is a seer as well. Then we have 2 more very important characters who are shepherds, Corinthian shepherd and Theban shepherd, who reveal most of the things to King Oedipus ultimately. So these are the important characters that are there portrayed in this drama. Let us first look at how is King Oedipus. King Oedipus is one of the most unfortunate characters in the history, in the mythology of Greece. He has committed sins which are most heinous, but unfortunately he doesn't even know that he has committed those crimes. So we feel sorry about this character as well. He is extremely heroic because it is only Oedipus who has been capable of solving the riddle of Sphinx and then saving the people of Thebes from the Sphinx. This shows that he is extremely heroic and has all the qualities to become a king, which he eventually becomes. Oedipus, although he is heroic in his strength, he is strong. Although he is strong and heroic, he has kindness in his heart. He is not a ruthless king. He has concern towards his people. And when in the beginning of the play, where the crisis situation is introduced, saying the people come to the court of King Oedipus and they request the king to find out some solution to this plague. Here, king shows the qualities of a savior, a kind-hearted man, and a sympathetic man as well. He treats the citizens as his own children, and he says like this. There is a dialogue I would like to read. Oedipus says, "My children, what you long for, that I know indeed, and pity you. I know how cruelly you suffer. Yet, though sick, not one of you suffers a sickness half as great as mine." You see, here he is making it very clear that when the people are suffering, he is also suffering. Although he is king, he is not enjoying luxurious life in the times of crisis. He says that I am equally worried as you are. And since it is my responsibility to take care of you, I am more worried because of this crisis. This shows that he has a kind-hearted nature which is expected of a good king. Yours is a single pain, each man of you feels but his own. My heart is heavy with the city's pain. See, it requires a very broad heart to accept the pains of the city as one's own. And only a noble king can feel the pain of his citizens. So the initial part of the drama shows Oedipus to be a very wise, gentle and kind-hearted king who has concern towards his citizens. He is not just there sitting enjoying his royal position. He is also very responsible. He is answerable to the problems and questions of his citizens, whom he considers as his own children. Look at the sense of responsibility he has taken upon his shoulders. Much before the chorus, the citizens have come to seek his help. He has already sent Creon to inquire at the oracle of Delphi. We soon shall know, my voice will reach so far. Creon, my lord, my kinsman, what response do you bring with you from the god of Delphi? So he has already sent Creon to get to get the help from the oracle of Delphi in order to solve this problem. So this shows that he is ready to take up responsibilities even in the times of crisis, and this he is doing for the sake of his citizens. Later, when Creon says that the Delphic oracle has told him that Laius' murderer is polluting the city, the king, without even a second thought, declares that he is going to expel the murderer of Laius from the city. This also shows his concern, his worry for the people, because he immediately takes this decision to expel him out of the city of Thebes. And due to all this sensible behavior from their king, people of Thebes do trust in their king Oedipus. Further, we see, even though he is a king, Oedipus has certain problems, flaws in his personality, and these flaws are exposed when Tiresias, the blind prophet, comes and starts revealing the secrets. These secrets, which Tiresias is reluctant to expose in front of Oedipus, are very harsh, and that is why Tiresias is not telling the truths. But at this point, we see Oedipus is making human mistakes. I use the word human mistakes because when we look at a king who is so ideal in his nature, we start giving him the status of a god or a divine agent. And it is at this point, during the argument between Tiresias and Oedipus, we feel that no, even though Oedipus is a king, he has some flaws as a human being. As a human, as any other human, he has some faults in his nature, and his fault is impatience. He loses his temper when Tiresias starts accusing him. He is not directly accusing him, but in fact he is telling him that the true things which Oedipus is unable to believe. So somewhere we find that Oedipus is losing his balance as a king and is showing his human errors. He starts doubting on the blind prophet whom the whole city of Thebes has been believing since many years. So this is a mistake that Oedipus is making as a human being here, and also he accuses Creon, who was one of the most trustworthy people in Thebes. And people are witness to the credentials, to the credibility and promptness of Creon. In his impatience and in his own tension, King Oedipus starts accusing Creon and Tiresias. This shows the lopsided nature of Oedipus as a human being. Although he is a king, he is verily a human character. As the true incidents from the past go on being revealed to the king, we see the king, instead of becoming impatient or instead of becoming tensed, he is sure to pursue the truth at any cost. This pursuit for truth, this quest for digging out the truth from the past, shows that the king Oedipus is extremely a courageous man. When he knows that he might be the murderer whom he is seeking, he does not stop the investigations there. He pursues the investigations to dig out the truth, and he employs his royal powers. He puts use of these powers and takes out the truth from many people, like Jocasta, like the Corinthian shepherd and the Theban shepherd. So this shows that king has a real concern for the people, and he is bent upon finding out the murderer of Laius so that plague can be avoided or cured. So we see that Oedipus is really a courageous king. He is not afraid of truth. But at the same time, he is blind, as we had already discussed during the discussion on our theme of sight versus blindness. We see that Oedipus is blind to certain facts which are happening in front of him, and this we have to blame it on fate. Ultimately, fate plays its role in the life of Oedipus, and Oedipus turns out to be the most tragic characters in the Greek mythology and in this story as well. Further, when king blinds himself, we pity the king, but he justifies his action of blobbing out his own eyes, saying that he deserves that kind of a punishment for the whole life because of the heinous crimes he has committed. Even here, we come to appreciate King Oedipus because it takes a great courage to accept mistakes and also to punish oneself for the mistakes that one has done. So even though Oedipus is a tragic character, we see he is a great character indeed. So that is the discussion on the character of King Oedipus. Now let us discuss how is the character of Jocasta. Now Jocasta is also another unfortunate character in this play. This is the woman who is exactly contrasting to the character of Oedipus. On one side you have Oedipus, who is not afraid to dig out the truth, but on the other side is Jocasta, who is afraid of digging out or knowing the whole truth. She is a non-believer in prophecies, and this is proved in her earlier dialogues. But as the revelations come one after the other, slowly she starts guessing at the truth, and she finds the truth is horrible. She tries to persuade King Oedipus from avoiding the investigations for further information. Why does she do that? Somewhere we feel that she is afraid of her losing her security. She is afraid of accepting her mistakes that she has done in the past. She is afraid of facing the harsh realities. She is afraid of the criticism, and that is why she commits suicide ultimately. Jocasta, being elder in age than Oedipus, should have shown more sensible behavior than King Oedipus. But we find that Jocasta, her life, her emotions and her mind is full of unknown fears. And due to these fears, she is not behaving like a real queen. I mean, when she finds that this investigation is leading to something very horrible, she wants that investigation to be stopped. And this behavior of hers is not very suitable to a queen. On the other side, we also see that Queen Jocasta is an authoritative character, because when there is a quarrel happening between Oedipus and Creon, she intervenes and she tries to solve the conflict between her brother and her husband. She is, at that time, she is in charge of the situation, and she solves the dispute between them. That shows that she has an authoritative nature, and she can control Oedipus, and she can even control her brother Creon. Somewhere we find that Jocasta also has some faults in her personality, whether it is in her nature or whether it is a mask that she wears in this play is not sure, because even Jocasta's character is shown to be a sort of, ironically, she is blind. Not really blind, she has eyesight, but she is blind to certain facts that are happening in front of her. And why is she blind towards these facts is a mystery. Whether she is afraid whether these facts are going to threaten her security. The first, I have already discussed about this in the theme blindness. She is blind to the fact that Oedipus has the marks of fetters on his foot. She must have immediately recognized him as her own son. But does she agree that? But does she accept that easily? No. The second incident where she is shown to be blind is that when she says Laius looked exactly like Oedipus, didn't she even guess that this might be her own son or Laius' son? So somewhere we find this behavior from Jocasta is mysterious, and we have a doubt whether she is doing it for her own security as a queen of the empire. So this is how is the character of Jocasta. Unfortunately, she is unable to bear the pain of guilt and shame, and she commits suicide at the end. So this is all about the character of Jocasta. Then the next important character in this drama is Creon. When we look at all the characters, it seems that Creon and Tiresias are the two most intelligent and balanced characters in this play. Creon knows his responsibilities towards the kingdom, and that's why he has been helping the king of Thebes in times of need. He has gone to the oracle of Delphi to inquire about the solutions to the problem of plague in the city of Thebes. So this shows that he, as a citizen as well as a representative of the royal family of Thebes, has a sense of responsibility on his shoulders, and he is carrying it out perfectly. Then we find that Creon is very diplomatic in his behaviors. When there is a struggle fight between Oedipus and Creon, Creon does not speak much but lets the chorus speak on behalf of him. So this shows that Creon also has very good leadership qualities. He lets people represent him and fight for him, and this he does when he knows that he is not on the wrong side. So he is extremely diplomatic in his behavior, and we see that Creon, he is also an elderly person in age when compared to Oedipus, so he has more sensibility than Oedipus. He is a man of reason. He speaks with conviction. He does not try to prove himself every time, but he speaks out his opinions quite comfortably and quite confidently. Whether Creon really desires for the title of king is not known. Oedipus accuses Creon of desiring for the post of the kingship when he does not find Creon's answers acceptable or Tiresias' arguments acceptable. But at the end of the drama, there is a dialogue. Creon says to Oedipus, when Oedipus expresses the desire to be taken out of the city of Thebes, Creon says to King Oedipus, don't try to have your own way in every matter. So this shows that even Creon is very much authoritative, and when he has come to know that Oedipus is at fault, he is not being merciful to the person who has committed crime. He is not just a relative of Oedipus, he has been a citizen of Thebes, and he has to carry out his responsibility towards the citizens after King Oedipus' reign. So at the end we find that he behaves very diplomatically, and he is really a man of reason. He is a man of good political thinking as well. Along with being a very good servant to the king, he is also a very good diplomatic leader of Thebes. So this is about the character of Creon, and then we will come to the character of Tiresias, the blind prophet. He is the symbol of wisdom in this play. He knows the art of prophesying, and he has been very famous right from the times of Laius. In fact, he says how Laius believed in the prophecies of Tiresias. He is blind in his eyesight, but he has an inner vision as a prophet. He is much respected, revered man throughout the city of Thebes. But when he is insulted, he also shows that he is the man of self-respect. He does not tolerate the false accusations done by King Oedipus on himself, and he revolts back to the king, giving most dangerous prophecies about the king, which the king is soon to experience. Tiresias is a fearless old man. Although the king Oedipus tries to accuse him, he is not afraid because he believes and he is always on the side of truth. No matter what any other person says about Tiresias, he is so firm and so confident about his nature that he is sure that he will always support the truth. Thereby, we see Tiresias as a blind man, but in fact, he is the one who has a great vision from within, and he is a man of wisdom and wise words as well. So that is about Tiresias. Then the character of Chorus. Chorus is nothing but the whole representation of the citizens of Thebes. They come to seek help from the king in the beginning. They are a witness to the revelations that are happening in the court of King Oedipus. They are witness to the power of fate that is ruling the life of King Oedipus. And as good citizens of Thebes, they are responsive, they are sensitive enough to the pains of their king as well. So like this, Chorus shows different moods of Theban citizens that are expressed in different episodes of this drama. The Theban shepherd and Corinthian shepherd also play major role, and their role is mostly used for the revelations of dark secrets from the past. And in fact, these are the two important characters who are witness to everything that they have seen right from the birth of King Oedipus until the point of time when he became the king, as well as the present crisis situation. That is about the characters of the two important shepherds who reveal most of the things in this drama to King Oedipus. These are the important characters that we had to discuss in this drama. Then this play symbolizes the power of fate, written in a very beautiful style of verse. This drama is not divided into acts and scenes, but in fact it has strophes and antistrophes. These are the musical elements used by playwright Sophocles, and these are sung usually by the chorus. So the role played by Sutradhara in Indian drama is being played by chorus through strophe and antistrophe in this drama, which become very important and unique elements of this particular tragedy. So to conclude, I would like to say that this drama became world famous because of its strong theme of power of fate, and how a king, even though he is great in his stature, in his power, in his intelligence, can fall into the horror of crimes unknowingly because of the power of fate. This is all about the play King Oedipus or Oedipus Rex. I complete the discussion here on this play. Please watch all of my videos on this particular drama and let me know your responses in the comments section. Thank you very much.